Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie, where we'll be looking at the race meeting today on the Greyville Poly track. Today is the 17th of March. Before we look at that, I just want to quickly discuss something with you. I do have a special offer running today for people who are interested. Guys, I just want to mention that, I think my selections are really good value. The other day, at Greyville or at Durban or at Greyville, what's today on Monday, I gave you a horse, follow my path, and that horse was my best bet of the day. And when I gave the horse was I think 13-2 for the best bet, and the horse eventually jumped at 15-2, 7.5-1. Now I'm not sure if that is not valid, then I will never know what value is. So I am offering you again today some special offers. First of all, you can subscribe now for 400 Rand only. You can subscribe to Outsider Genie to get you'll get the rest of March free, and then I pay only 400 Rand. Real value 1,200 because I do charge 500 Rand a month. So for 2 months plus half of March would give you a value of 1,200 Rand, and you will receive selections till end of May. And I have a long-term package for 6 months. Now that will take you right through the whole champion season in KwaZulu-Natal till the end of August for 1,200 Rand. The real value is 3,000. Or if you want to subscribe just till the end of March, you can do that for 200 Rand now. So you can WhatsApp me on 083-5855-133. So let's get back to the racing. As you know, I don't give selections on juvenile races because the first race is a juvenile, but I'll give you the betting on that. The betting is as follows. It's 1,400 meters. And yeah, I just want to warn you, this is the first longer distance that these juveniles are starting to run. And that is why I'm very carefully, because you might find a horse that has been running over 1,000 meters. The distance never suited the horse. And now going over the 1,400 meters is going to be another kettle of fish. And soon they will be running over 1,600 meters. And then that makes it even more difficult because a lot of those horses will go into the race where they were running over sprint distance and now going to 1,600 meters. So certainly I would think any juvenile race is not a race that you really can punt on, although there are favorites that are winning, but I think they are in, about 50 to 40% of favorites to win. The rest of the favorites gets beaten. So here, number 9, 5-2, Hunu Kalani. 3-1, Catch the Tune. Tapa Buia, 4-1, 9-1, Armin Land, 10-1, Lord Maneuver, Royce Iceberg, 13-1, Exact, 18-1, Future Time, 18-1, and 20-1, and longer the rest. And we're going to watch, while we're here, we're going to watch on race 2, number 3, Freedom Seeker, 14-10, Candy Galore, 5-2, Herstel, 3-1, Eskimo Kisses, 13-2, Blush of Dawn, 7-1, and Captain of Color, 20-1. So let's have a look here at race number 2, which is Fillies and Mares, 90 handicap, Class B, average merit rate in 87. And here my strong selection is number 2, Candy Galore. Candy Galore is getting -4, only carrying 59. And this horse is run against far stronger than she's meeting in this race today. As you can see, we did mention this is a B87 average merit rating in this race. And she's been running against, there she ran in a B87 on the poly over this distance, just getting beaten by Linear, carrying 61 kilogram, Linear carrying 61.5. And then she ran against Traces and only faded over the last bit. And last time out ran in a 96. Here she also doing, was here awkward and was eased at 800 meters. So surely she had the problems in running. But if you look here behind Walker Typhoon, she was leading and was, I think the 1100 meters was just a little bit too far. It seems that this horse is more suited to the 1000 meters. Already have 4 wins, and this is today my strong selection to win this race. Then for the outsider selections, I'm going for number 6 because if you have a look here, you'll see that Blush of Dawn has got some a line through Walker Typhoon. They ran in the same race where Blush of Dawn had like a 6.5 kilogram advantage, but today it's only 1.5. But I do think that Blush of Dawn can perhaps make a presence felt here in terms of an outsider. So certainly do include in your exactas, trifectas, and quartets. Then we have the favorite here, number 3, Freedom Seeker. Waisha Marvin having a few runners today here. Ryan Munger on board, drawn free. And certainly I would think Freedom Seeker also not without a chance. Has also been running well in Kenilworth and then ran on the Vaal and now finding itself in KwaZulu-Natal. But it has run against some strong opposition here, 5 lengths behind Ryu Karari, Clouds Unfold, Hello Winter, Hello. Certainly I think that is the reason why it is the favorite. And certainly also not without a chance. So, but also a horse that I think can surprise them all is number 4, Herstel. This filly, a 4-year-old captain of all filly, only had 7 runs, 2 wins, and she is with the Candace Dawson stable, who are having a few runners here. He's draw 4, so certainly also a horse that can be involved when the photos are taken. Then we move on to the next race, race 3, which is a maiden plate, a qualified maiden plate for fillies and mares. Class D, average minute 57 over 1800 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 3, Simply Complicated, 13 to 10. Princess Tiana, 16 to 10. 28 to 10, Good Girl. 16 to 1, Papillon. 20 to 1, Koala. And 30 to 1, 3 to 1, Miss Emblem. And 40 to 1, and Better the Rest. Now here in this race, my first selection is the horse from the Candace Dawson stable, Princess Diana. Princess Diana is a full sister to Grace Inn, and certainly if she can run like a brother, it will be difficult to peg her back today. Last time out, did win to the front. It was just run out of it by Diamonds and Dollars. But I think Warren Kennedy, I'm not sure whether he's going to take it to the front again or how he's going to ride it. But I'm thinking number 5, Princess Diana, having a huge chance in this race today. In my outsider selections is number 6, Papillon. It's a noble tune out of a Soul's Career mare. This horse last time out ran third, but 18 lengths behind Emerald Price, before that 6 lengths behind. But the main thing about this horse is getting -4, and I think this distance of 1800 meters will definitely suit this horse. These noble tunes, they can run a bit over the longer distances. So certainly do include in the back in your quartet and trifecta selections. And here we have number 7, Miss Emblem, Lyle Hewitson on board for his dad. Now this horse used to be with Fani Bronkhorst, so I don't know how it came into the hands of Mr. Hewitson, but that doesn't matter. This horse didn't show much in Gauteng, but I see here, it is running 6 lengths behind, 7 lengths behind, 8 lengths behind, but it's running from the front. And the thing is, sometimes with the poly, this horse, once it gets fitter, one of these days is going to go to the front and stay there. I don't say it will be today, this horse is 53 to 1, but certainly do include in all your back end of your quartet and trifectas. It surely can place in this field. And then you have the favorite here, number 2, Simply Complicated, a twice over filly by a jackpot mare, Anton Marcus on board, zone 2. This horse did ran a nice race behind Paracotta last time out on the poly, over the 1900 meters. And before that, run some places 3, 4, 5 lengths behind. Surely I think if number 2 can repeat that last run, surely must be in with a chance. And also number 3, Good Girl, He's also a horse that's been running places over various distances. Now today, going for the first time over 1800 meters after running over the 1700 meters last time, and didn't do too well. Third fastest 400. So also definitely a 4-year-old Duke of Marmalade filly by Fordwood, stoutly bred, that can certainly also surprise in this race, number 3, Good Girl. So let's move on to race number 4, which is a maiden plate over 1700 meters. Here the betting is as follows. Number 2, Sir Guy, 14-10. Race Hallelujah, 4-1. Mr. Pigali, 5-1. What a Rider, 8-1. Decorated, 10-1. Patronized, 10-1. Luna Protector, 16-1. And 20-1 and longer the rest. Yeah, here again, everybody is going to lump onto this favorite. Number 2, Sir Guy. They're going to go mad and they're all going to pour their money on this horse. And certainly, I don't say the horse cannot win, but this horse only started showing now over the longer distances. But Paul Peter is bringing the horse all the way from Gauteng, so surely he must feel that he have a huge chance. Anton Marcus on board, and the problem is that, yeah, no, I'm not going to say anything about that. So this horse did show a little bit more over the longer distance after going over sprints the last time. But my selection goes to number 3, Decorated. I can tell you guys, I think when, this jockey, Muzi, I think he's one of the best riders in the country when it comes to riding in a finish. I mean, a few days ago, he came through for on that horse that I gave best bet of the day, Follow My Path, and he was riding for his life, and he got the horse up on the line and to win the race. Now, Decorated is a 3-year-old, also only had 3 runs. And certainly it looks to me that although it was beaten 7 lengths by Command Control, running second, it did say midfield headway. So this horse was running on, you'll see in his first race behind Mexican Cat Dance on a distance I would deem too short for him. He ran on 24.1, second fastest 400 to finish after lost 2 lengths. Then he ran over the 1400 meters, late progress, fastest 400 meters, 24.5. And then last time behind Command Control, 25.2 midfield headway. And I do feel that number 3, Decorated, in this race have a huge chance today. For outsider selections, I'm going for number 1, What a Rider. What a Rider out of a Go Deputy mare. And certainly I would think that at 1700 meters will suit this horse if I go on the dam side. These Go Deputies, they like longer distances and they sometimes take time to mature. But I am a big fan of Go Deputy and family of Go Deputy. And this horse ran last time behind straight 6, did battle to quicken. And that maybe shows you that he's crying out for a longer distance, and include number 1, What a Rider, in all of your play. And my other outsider selection is number 4, Luna Protector. Luna Protector, we'll see, had a tables change in November, and since then had 2 runs, and on both those run improved runs, although running 8 and 7, but you will see only 2.65 behind the winner, 2.85 behind the winner, although they say a 1 pace late. And that I would think also the 1700 would suit this horse. Certainly after the stable change, he is starting to improve. And Aston Harris and Dixon have a nice it's a nice combination, as you can see here. 47 rides, 4 wins. That gives you about 10%, 6 seconds. So certainly a horse that you're going to want to put into your back end of your quartets and trifectas, because if it do arrive, certainly you're going to go standing in a power queue collecting, ranking outside of GENIE. As I said, we did discuss Sergey, not without a chance, but definitely a horse that I won't be rushing to take 14-10 on today. I just want to quickly touch on number 7, Race Hallelujah. Race Hallelujah also is a horse that is improving. Was favorite last time out, but got beaten and didn't even run a place. I'm sure we'll run a better to the race today. He's coming off a 96-day rest. Also, this horse, number 16, number 6, Mr. Pigale, definitely also in with chance, has run a few nice races. Originate from PE, then took a while to find his feet, but both his last 2 runs showed improvement, so can also probably pop up as an outsider in this race. And then number 8, Patronize. This horse didn't show much over the 1400 meters, but last time out ran on nicely. And kept on running after a dismal second last run behind Lalo again. But has also run in 3rd place behind Higher Purpose. On the Polly, the Michael Roberts stable are getting a few winners lately, so definitely also include into your play. And then we move on to race number 5, which is a merit 70 apprentice handicap 1600 meters. A Class D average merit rated 67. So here we have number 2, Theravada, 13-10, Sovereign Soldier, 3-1, Aerobic, 6-1, 10-1, A Whole New World, Roy Cycles, 11-1, 14-1, Norland, 3 of Knowledge, 16-1, 18-1, Grand Maestro, 20-1, and Better the Rest. Well, I've been following Theravada, and as you know, that you by now, I did tip Theravada here in, this was in December, when it ran third to Maiden Magic. That day the horse paid 9 rand a place. And since then I've been following it, but I think these few, I think the 1200 meters is just too short for him. But today from draw 2 with the Jockey Solomon's on board, who really rides well. And I think today is going to be the day that this horse is going to find a number 1 box. As you can see, he's always running on strongly at the end. I do hope maybe he can get the horse placed a little bit better, so that then when he comes with a run, he can find the winning post in time. Number 2, Theravada. For outsider selections, I'm going for number 3, Norland. The Chris Erasmus stable did have their first winner since relocating. It's got Moxley on board, -2.5, only carrying 55. But you can see this horse now runs here in a D Division 67, where before he ran against Marshall Foch in 81, his merit rated was 76, he's now 65. So it has come down, but he is running in Biomax, some useful horses, and as what had 1 run last time over the Poly of 1400 meters, behind 2 of us finishing just under 5 lengths, but at 1 pace. But I think the 1600 meters will suit him a little bit better. And I'm thinking for Norland, definitely a horse that you need to include in all of your play. And then my other outsider selection is number 7, Euphoric. Now, Euphoric is in the same boat. As you can see, this horse used to be a 92. It's now a 67, getting -2.5, running there 3 lengths behind, 5 lengths behind. But this running way down in class. This horse used to run B divisions, then C divisions. Now find itself in a C division. I see it's 6-1. Allison right on board, and I do believe that Euphoric has got the ability, not the form, the ability to run a good race here. So certainly want to include. Other horses you need to include is number 8, Sovereign Soldier. Also a horse that's always there and thereabouts, although over 500 days since last win, but also getting a -1.5, and it's always there and thereabouts. Certainly do, you have to include that into your play. Then we move to race number 6, which is a merit rated 79 handicap over 1200 meters, Class C, average merit rated 77. Let's have a look here at the betting. Here we have number 1, Here Comes the Rain, 5-2, Burning Wings, 28-10, Fly the Coop, 4-1, 11-2, Docliati, Tambora, 13-2, 15-1, Prince Caress, 16-1, Quattro Passi, 16-1, Great Guy, and 16-1, Northern Warrior. So here my selection is number 4, Quattro Passi. Now, you might be holding your stomach, laughing your head off. First of all, we've got this jockey, Sia Beep. This guy can ride outsiders like you can't believe. This horse used to run, is now running today in a C Division 77. He has to, he used, he ran in 81s and 85 in his last runs. And I will lay you even money that when they hit the straight, this horse will be in front. The thing is, just will he be able to keep going to the end, Quattro Passi. But Quattro Passi has shown that he is a bit of a fighter. Both his wins were start to finish. Horses came for him and he just kept on running. But as you can see here and there, when he ran second to Secrets of Maya, out of that race, 2 winners already. Out of the maiden play that he won, 2 winners. Out of then the race after that, 1 winner. And then the second last race behind Vision, 1 winner. But Vision has won again on Sunday. So that form is frank. The race behind Guru's Pride, that was an extremely strong field. I can tell you that today. He was leading the field. And you might think that the 1200 meters is too short, but he has run over the 1200 meters. And I'm just thinking that maybe he might just, be able to just keep away from them at the top of the straight, and I might find it hard to pick him back. That's certainly not a horse that you would want to put your house on, but if he does come in, certainly it will make everything pay. And for my other outsider selection, I'm going for number 5, Great Guy, because number 5, Great Guy, has also run against some better opposition that's in this race, and it's only carrying 54. And I do feel that if you look at the course and distance, and that's what's caught my eye. 5 runs, 1 win, a second, and 2 fourths. So out of 5 races under Polly, he was placed in the first 4 times. Curry's Guest has thrown a number of winners on a day as well. So I think this is a nice outsider that you need to include. Then here's number 6, Tambora. Luke Ferraris on board. This horse has won 2 races just before his last race, where he also ran against in an 81. Also now down in class behind Tread Swiftly, and certainly can be a factor in this race, although it is been running over the 1200 meters, which certainly might be a trifle too short for him. But he's the type of horse that will be running on at the end, because as you can see here, fastest 400, second fastest, second fastest, second fastest. So this horse sometimes do run on nicely, but coming off a small race, but certainly I think can be a contender. I must say, in my mind, this is one of the most open race on the card. Here comes the rain also in with a chance. Stuart Randolph from draw 1. Last time out ran on behind Wayward, so certainly also in higher divisions as well. So deservedly is the favorite. Number 2, Burning Winds, Lyle Hewitson for Grant Cotson, has won 2 out of 6, also in with a chance. So I think certainly open race, include as much as you can. Yes, Dogliati coming from Joburg, also has got the ability to run a good race here. Will be his first run on the Poly. So that concludes this race. So let's move on to the next race, which is race number 7. Phyllis Mayor 77, Apprentice Handicap Class C, average minute rate at 76. And here the betting is as follows. Number 1, So They Say, 14 to 10. State of Mind, 5 to 2. 5 to 1, Umzunduzi. 6 to 1, Ice Imperial. Alfonso Baby, 7 to 1. 9 to 1, Bright Eyed Girl. 25 to 1, Padar. When I looked at this race and as I went through the race, my attention immediately was caught by Ice Imperial. Ice Imperial is a horse that's always there and thereabouts, 2 lengths behind, 3 lengths behind. Now today get the services of Mr. Solomon's minus 2.5. Now the rating in this horse race is C76. That is the division that this horse has been running in and has been running on nicely, always there and thereabouts. And I've just got a feeling today with this weight of 56 on his back, I think number 2, Ice Imperial, this filly, is going to run a huge race today. My outsider selections in this race is number 4, which is Umzanduzi, also none, who has won 2 out of 7. and is getting the -4, and that will certainly put him into the picture. But has been running against a little lower division, but I think the -4 will certainly bring him into this race. And then my other outsider selection is number 5, Alfonso Baby, also getting -1.5. This horse is always there and thereabouts over the 1400 meters, as has run 2 seconds on this course and distance. And yeah, definitely, I would also think Alfonso Baby has run 5 seconds on this course already for 1 win out of 8, and certainly can trouble the favorite. And talking of favorite, let's have a look at the favorite number 3. So they say that that won his maiden 2 races back, giving Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot has done nothing since. His 13 runners out of that race, no winners. And last time out was beaten by Lou Bain in a 68, but he's getting the -4, and certainly that would help a little bit with this horse. But certainly I won't be rushing to take these odds of 14-10. Although, Paul Peter is shrewd, he always brings he brings down a horse to win, but they don't always win. Sometimes they do, but not always. So that is race number 7. So let's move on to race number 8. And here again, we have a very short favorite, 1400 meters, and bright future maiden plate. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is as follows. Number 3, Superior Leader 9-10. Give Me a Rainbow 9-2. Slightly Spanish 5-1. Don't Touch Me 10-1. 11-1 Mama's Boy. 12-1 Just Liberty. Number 2 Alma Mater 14-1. 22-1 and Better the Rest. So yeah, my first selection is not a favorite. I'll talk about that now. My first selection is this number 1, this Lucifer Ford gelding by Russian Revival Me. This horse is getting -4. Now, I think for any horse getting -4, certainly that is a big advantage. Did run nicely by Lago Bay. Out of that race, already 6 runners, 1 winners. And you'll see here in his first race, although he was way behind, it was a very strong field. And I certainly felt that the distance for him, if you look at the breeding, the 1160 was definitely too short. And I'm sure that those first 2 races was just pipe openers, because that's the way wire mowing work. He likes to give his orders horses a few run. A case in point is a horse called Kingsley Hard. Kingsley's Hard, he gave 2 runs over the sprint and then put him over the 1600 meters, and the horse won at 66-1. I advised everybody that day in my video to make sure they include this horse, because that 1400 meter Kingsley's Hard was going to run, was only the starting point where he could run, and he during one at 66-1. And I think he followed the same route here with number 1, Slightly Spanish. And I like the look. And, here you can see Slightly Spanish going to the front in both of his 2 last races. Now, today, if the same is going to happen with the -4 and he keeps at the top of the straight, the favorite's going to be a hard time catching him. That is for sure, because certainly I think the horse is fit. And for outsiders selections, I like number 2, Alma Mater. Again, my jockey, Musi Yeni, drawn to. This horse has run in a few places and has run twice on the poly, but didn't run too well on the poly. But certainly he's running there and thereabouts. Last time out just faded over 1100. Now going over the 1400 meters, and that is a serious change of tactics for this trainer and jockey, because it might be that this horse is outpaced over the shorter distance, and now today they're putting it over the 1400 meters, and just this comments here: battle to quicken, pace improve, handy no extra. So you sometimes get the situation where this is just too short for a horse and he can't keep up. But if you put him in a 1400 meters different pace, then it can be a different kettle of fish. And I've got a strong feeling that Alma Mater today is going to run a huge race. I wanted to tip him for first place, but the fact that number 1 was getting -4 certainly swayed that in number 1's favor. But I had also a strong liking for number 2, Alma Mater. So definitely you need to include that in all of your play. Then let's have a look at my other outsider selection, number 4, which is Give Me a Rainbow. Sorry, yeah, not number 4. Hang on a second. Number 4, Agent of State. Yeah, oh yes, that's right. It's number 4, Asian State. Also, this horse, the same as number 2, hasn't run over the 14 and has only had a 1 run in Kiloweb under number 14. I mean, it was way back in June 19. Now running again over the 1400 meters, and I just got a feeling that number 4 might improve to be running into the back ends of your quartets. I don't say the horse can win, but the horse is running 3 lengths behind, 5 lengths behind. So certainly, and I think maybe the 1400 meters can make a difference. And he's got this very shrewd jockey and a very good jockey on board, Stuart Randolph. So now let's have a look at the favorite here. The favorite is Superior Leader, having his first run here on the poly. And I mean, he has got legitimate reasons to be the favorite, and I don't say he cannot win. But that race beyond Dollar Brand, that was certainly not a strong field. I remember that I did tip Donald Dollar Brand that day. But yeah, he has run against some smart opposition. Legitimate is also a good horse. All About Al, I would think, is a good horse. You can see there, 8 runs, 1 win, 9 runs, 1 win, 11 runs, 2 wins, 8 runs, 1 win. So he has run against some fair opposition. And yeah, maybe he deserved to be 9 to 10. But today, first I'm out on the poly, and I'm just thinking that, also a 3-year-old, the 4 kilograms that he's going to have to give to number 1 is certainly going to make a difference. And as I said, number 2, Alma Mater, I think is also going to run a huge race. Then 5, Mama's Boy has also already had 10 runs, ran a nice race behind Crusader Star last time out over the 1200 meters. And there's also horses, there and thereabouts, certainly can have a surprise. Then there's another horse, I just want to look here at the bottom, number 10, Give Me a Rainbow. Lyle Hewitson from draw 10. This horse used to be also a PE horse, but has run a few nice races in his last 2 runs, and certainly must be considered as well to put into your calculations. So that brings us to the end of our preview. I hope I was able to point you in the right direction for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg,